In this video, let's learn the MCQs of the chapter A Baker from Goa. They're not just question answers, but the essence of the chapter is very well explained. All the questions that are important for the exam have been included here. The 25 years plus experience that I have seen many questions which are important and have included here through explanations which are associated with the real life experience of a student. So after watching this video, you won't need to watch any other video because you'll be able to answer any question from the chapter and ace the exam. Okay, so are we all ready for the MCQs? I'm sure you're ready to answer. So leave your answers in the comment section below. Let's start. Question number 1, it says, what sound announced the baker's arrival in the village? I'm sure you've guessed it already. It is very, very clear. And I'm sure that you've already gone through the explanation that I have given on this chapter. The link for the video is given in the description box. You can check it out if you haven't seen it. So the answer is option B, the thud and jingle of his bamboo staff. Now thud is the sound made by the bamboo staff, and the jingle could be the bells, that were attached to the bamboo. So these are the two things that, the combination of two things that the sound actually was produced. And I'm sure you got it right. Now, how do you remember this? How do you link it with your experience? The bell that rings when a Zomato or a Swiggy guy enters, and then he rings the bell and then you run to get the order of your pizza or burger or fries, whatever you have ordered. So you can associate it with that. Can you not? Now, question number 2, where did the baker usually place his basket after entering a house? After entering a house. So remember the difference that when he entered the house, the basket was on his head. But after he entered the house, the basket was not on the head, but it was on the bamboo staff. So this is the difference. So read the question carefully so that you don't get confused. So the answer is on a bamboo staff, option B. Now, question number 3, how did the children behave when the baker came? So, obviously, the baker was a very good friend of the children. We learned that when we read the chapter. So, the answer is option B, they ran to greet him. Just like how you go, you don't greet the Swiggy or Zomato guy, but at least you take the delivery. So, remember that for easy reference. Question number 4, what were the elders in Goa nostalgic about? So this is a part of the chapter which we had seen in the beginning. So they were nostalgic about the Portuguese days and bread. So they used to talk about the good old days of the Portuguese when they were there, and of course the furnaces and the loaves of bread. That is what the elders always used to reminisce. Now here, how do you remember? We have our grandparents, or we have our parents talking about their good old days, So they often say that that was a golden time and now things are not the same and not so good. So we have all gone through this, so you can link it up with that so that you remember it well. Now question number 5. What kind of bread did children love the most? This is a very important question and a very favorite question of everyone, I'm sure. So here, of course, it is the bread bangles and not the loaves of bread. I'm sure even you must be running the same way when you go to a mall and then you can smell the donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. So you just run, you want to eat that. So it's like that. So you can remember it that way. Now, question number 6, who bought the loaves for the house? This is an important question. Who used to collect the loaves? So, did you guess it? Good. Now, the answer is A, some Paskin or Bastin, the maid servant of the house. So here, the servants often, they used to go and collect it, and it used to be the lady of the house also probably, but the servants usually used to take it. The lady of the house could have a conversation probably, but the servant would collect it and keep it in the kitchen or wherever. Now, question number 7, what did the kabai look like? Now, kabai is a long frock that used to be worn by the baker. That was what he used to wear. So how did it look like? It looked like a long frock reaching the knees, and the correct answer is option B. And I'm sure you would have guessed it right. So how do you remember this? Say, for example, when you spot a few students, in a particular uniform, you know from which school they are. So you can identify students school from their uniform. So just like that, if you see someone dressed in a frock in the olden days, they used to know that he was a padder. So you can link it up like this so that you remember it easily. Question number 8. Later, what did the bakers wear instead of the kabai? So earlier they used to wear a long frock-like thing, but later, what did they graduate to? So that was shirt and half pants. Half pants below the knee and above the ankle. So that also was not full. It used to be probably comfortable for them. So that is the reason why they used to wear. You can even call them capris or something like that. Nowadays you call them. So that's what they used to wear. And this also you can associate it with the uniform. Question 9. Which word was used to tease anyone in half pants even today in Goa? So how did they tease? If they were dressed in capris, how were the people teased in those days? So they used to call them, you dress like a padder. So that's how they used to tease. Now this also is associated with the uniform thing. So I think you can remember easily through that. Question number 10. What was essential for a Goan wedding gift? This is very important because there are 4 or 5 varieties of cakes and bread that used to be prepared for different specific functions and occasions. So you will have to remember them accordingly. So for the wedding, I know you have guessed it right. Thank you. It is the bowl. So the bowl was the sweet bread that used to be a must for the wedding. So for us also we have laddus, which are really very important for our wedding. So associated with that, and you'll remember. Question 11. What did the lady of the house prepare for her daughter's engagement? So remember this, that for wedding it was different, for the engagement it is different. So for engagement, the lady of the house, that is the girl's mother, she used to prepare sandwiches out of bread. So sandwiches for the engagement and then bowl for the wedding. So this is what, I know you remember it by now, it's very easy. Question 12. Which special treat was a must for Christmas and other festivals? So this is about the engagement and the wedding that we saw. Now let's check it out for Christmas and other festivals. So what was it? It was bulinhas or special cakes. So we know bowl, we know bulinhas, we know sandwiches. So for what they are used, that also you know. So for Christmas and other festivals, these were the things that were used. So for Christmas, what do we eat? Please comment and let me know. Do you also eat a plum cake? Oh yeah, even I do. So you can easily remember it through that. Question number 13. How were the baker's accounts maintained? Which is very important. You are buying bread, you are buying bread bangles, you're buying everything from the baker, but then you need to settle the accounts, right? How were they maintained? Nowadays, of course, everything, online. But back in those days, it used to be written with a pencil on the wall. That is how it is. So now you remember the mobile phone. You know that, you have to pay the Netflix subscription every month or Prime, for that you have to pay. So probably every month or every year, whatever your plan is. So you can associate it with that and remember. Question 14. When were the baker's bills usually settled? So like we have the Netflix plan or any other plan that we have, even for that matter, our Airtel bill that we pay for the phone, they used to pay also monthly at the end of the month. Now, question 15. How did the baker's appearance reflect his prosperity? So how would you know, looking at a baker, that he was prosperous? So the answer is option A, by his plump physique, he used to be really chubby because, all the cakes and breads and everything that were remaining, they would consume it because at that time they didn't have refrigerators probably. So they had to consume it within a certain period of time. So they were all the time, khate pite ghar ke log the wo. So they were all, very plump. So you can remember this with anybody who was roly-poly and then, Sejis and all that. When you see them, they say that, they are really from a khate pite ghar ke log. So you can associate it with that. Now, question 16. What is the baker's shape compared to? This is again a very important question. He has a plump physique, but what was he compared to? And the answer is jackfruit. Jackfruit is kathal. He was compared to a jackfruit because it doesn't have a shape. It is oval all along, like a drum. So here you can again, link it up with the Sejji that I told you and remember like that. Or for that matter, any of your friend who is like, roly-poly, you can link it up with that person and remember the jackfruit. Next, question 17. What relation did the children have with the baker? This is again very important because they had a very cordial relationship with him, a very friendly relationship with him. So close and friendly, waiting eagerly for him. They always used to wait when he would come because they would get the best of the things that he had for them. And here again, you can remember the Zomato and Swiggy guy because they are the only ones who get you food, okay? And any other apps through which you get the food. I am sure only, these are the two things that I could remember of. Now, what local term was used in Goa for a baker? How was a baker addressed? The word is padder, and we have already used this in a previous question, and I'm sure you already got that right. Question 19. What still exists in many Goan houses is a reminder of Portuguese days. So even now, what do they think about, or what do they reminisce, or what do they reflect upon? That is the traditional furnaces for baking bread, option B. So even now they think of those good old, traditional furnaces, those bhattis, or even in the villages right now we have bhattis, and we still keep listening from our elders, that is how we used to cook. We never had this gas and all those things. So you can associate it with that. So the Portuguese used to think of those furnaces, and the loaves of bread, of course. The last question, what is the central message of the chapter? This is very important. So the option B, the importance of bakers and bread in Goan culture and tradition. So the whole chapter is about, a baker and their furnaces, their tradition, how they carried it, and even now their sons are still following, a few of them, they're still continuing to follow that. So this is the central theme of the chapter. And I'm sure you were able to answer many of the questions correctly. And thank you so much for being patient. Do like, share and subscribe. And then I'll come up with more value-based MCQs the same way. If you want any particular chapter or poem, you can leave your requirement in the comment section below. Thank you.